So, you know, that is a little bit of a change. You know, C9 has not really gotten to get it
so
yet.
You have to choose Zilli and Kalista. Which one is it?
Good. That was the right
they're
choice.
They're going to go Sivir then. With the Draven ban, I think they go Sivir here on 1, or at least that's my expectation. And then we have to see, like, is Lulu going to get taken away by CLG? Like, that's kind of my expectation, is that it ends up being Sivir for C9, Lulu, Zeri potentially on the other side, Lulu grabbed here, and probably Zeri on 3.
Yeah, I think the Zeri into Sivir looked pretty good for CLG.
Really well.
Luger had some team fights where he was not in a correct position, we could say, but I think that trade definitely felt nice for them. They don't need to grab the Zeri in 1-2, and so they prioritize jungle first to get that Trundle, which also has won both games, focusing more on the objective taking and just shredding somebody from the front line. Again, since both these teams are constantly fighting, brawling, and charging the front line in, that ultimate shred really helps a lot.
Yep, they're going to go Zeri on 3, almost guaranteed, I think. Nautilus would be a little bit of a change up here. Some more hard engage, grabbed up, more point-and-click lockdown. So I like this more than I like the Vi for point-and-click lockdown, assuming it's Zeri, right? I'll be interested to see if it is going to be Vi anyway here. But, you know, they definitely don't have to do it. Kennen on 3 was what they did in game number 1, and then you can kind of ban to protect it. And you are assuming Zeri is, like, for sure getting locked here. So everything going pretty much kind of like according to expectation, but I just want to see what adaptations there are as far as like top lane and jungle for CLG and then for C9.
I actually did think that Kennen was a really, really smart pick and big advantage in the previous one, even though that was the game where there was so much bot fighting that it didn't end up mattering as much. I think it will shine more in this game if the other side of the map is not so lopsided, because the Kennen buffs feel quite nice for this champion. It just brings so much AoE to that team fight. When Nautilus can get a Nautilus ult point and click onto the Zeri, to be able to hold her in place for the full Kennen ultimate to follow up on that is huge damage, especially because the AoE covers the front line as well.
All right, so it's bottom laners and then again split on the third champion picked in the first half of the draft. With top lane for C9 and jungle for CLG, we're gonna see CLG hitting the jungle bans here. Vi is taken off the table, so it's gotta be something different. I would like to see the Wukong banned out as the second choice here as well. LeBlanc gonna be banned away. This is like what happened in the first game. Remember, C9, they drafted the Kennen in the first half. Their opponents did not pick their top laner, but C9 did not feel the need to protect that Kennen pick with any more types of bans. They instead focused on the mid lane. They focused on Palafox. Will they continue to do that here? The Zillion instead of Wukong.
I actually like this because I was kind of thinking, like, to me, when I'm playing into a blind Trundle jungle, Kindred is something I really like. Blaber has played it, and perhaps they're worried about that as a pairing. The Zillion plus Kindred was a really common pairing for Cloud9. So I think they may be seeing Zillion as like a double ban, right? You're taking away a mid lane pick, and you're denying the ability to potentially go for something like an Olaf or a Kindred with that Zillion support.
I think they should have banned Wukong instead of Vi then. Wukong, really impactful team fight AoE
especially
jungle.
With Kennen and Nautilus, right?
Yeah.
Well, we've got the Ornn as the last ban of the draft for C9, so it won't be double mid.
Let's be Sedge again.
Yeah, that's what I would expect. Probably with the exhaust once more as well, right? Because the Ignite's not going to be nearly as valuable against something like a Kennen.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this makes a lot of sense. They are saving last pick here for Palafox as well. Jensen could just go back to the Ori. You know, this would be basically the same thing that they did in game number 1. Yep. You know, the only mix-up is just what is it going to be here, and it's Nocturne for Blaber.
Where's Fedius? Get Fedius on the phone. Transatlantic.
I mean, this is a jungle.
Where's he at?
This is a jungle Nocturne, okay? Not going to be the lane Nocturne, and it is another dive champion to dive in the back on to Zeri. And with that spell shield, you can try and stick on her pretty nicely. With that, plus Kennen, plus Nautilus, looks like a very strong dive. Nocturne's very good at delivering the Orianna shockwave ball as well. So this is a huge wombo combo dive.
And one of the things that I actually like the most about Nocturne in this comp is when you pair with Kennen, it's almost impossible to track the Kennen flank because the lights turn off, you don't know where Kennen is coming from, and all of a sudden playing out these team fights become very difficult. It's something that's hard to appreciate when you're just spectating the game. Right. But when you play against this combo in game, the lights turn off, Kennen's coming from somewhere, you don't even know where, you're just running away from the enemy, and you may be walking right into a 5-man Kennen ult.
I mean, you think about the greatest Kennen plays and the biggest Kennen teamfight moments you've seen throughout the history of League of Legends esports, right? They all come from a surprise moment. Fog of War is normally what enables that, but why not just turn the whole map into Fog of War, wards or not? I really want to see how well this combo is played from a Cloud9 that stomped game number 1 and fought back ferociously.
Strybreaker is just so good with the champ. The lethality ballistic missile that you're talking about, that is for, you know, solo queue when you're looking for the early snowball 10 kills. That thing drops off the biggest of cliffs, especially in pro play. Oh, I love the battling chance.
Yeah.
This is such a stark difference from yesterday. Yesterday, the FlyQuest Team Liquid were in harmony. They were like, okay, you go TL. Okay, you go FlyQuest. This one is like, no, we're getting in there.
This one's putting the riot in Riot Games, baby. That's what I like to hear. Good job, audience. And as we're waiting for the action to start up here in game number 3, Dhokla's got some thoughts on the team he's tied up with. Let's check it out.
I think C9 is playing really well, and they're definitely like a stronger opponent than their seed shows. So I think it'll be a really hard series, but I think if we are able to win that series, then it'll give us a lot of confidence going in, thinking we can just beat anyone.
One thing I've got to say, man, I've been loving not only having the crowd back in the chants, but it's been a long time since CLG has been getting those kind of chants and that kind of support in the studio. You know, CLG has not won a big playoff series in a couple years now, right? So, you know, this would be massive for them if they can take down Cloud9. It really gives those CLG faithful something to cheer about.
And I do want to point out, give a shout out in the camera shot that popped up there. Elias, one of the guys who works behind the scenes at the LCS here, has been a lifetime CLG fan. For all the faithful like Elias that are now finally being rewarded with this team being back online, how electric is that, man?
Yeah, Elias is the GOAT, producer of the dive. He worked on players. You got to check it out, but all in level 1.
Zven and Berserker looking for it yet again. Back on the hustle from game number 1, just not with a Kalista this time, so it looks a little scarier.
Love these two AD carries, always willing to go for the heavy trades. Exhaust there, used by Poome in answer, as Zven went with the Ignite down onto Luger. Slight advantage with the extra ghost being popped.
It is worth noting that Berserker went longsword 3-pot, so he has more sustain here than Luger does. So, you know, we'll see if that is actually going to really matter more after these aggressive trades here early on.
Potions nerfed, remember, as well. Couple patches to go.
Contract's coming down.
Oh boy, he's ready to go. The junkyard troll.
They just have to try to beat the hook. Poome is trying to say, oh, you could hook me here. You could get me. I'm walking around that minion. He wants Zven to go in. And it's just if Zven will actually buy it. Because there's no way he's intentionally positioning that badly if your jungle's not there. I think Zven has the read. It's smart play on both sides.
Restraint? What? Restraint in this game?
That's the trick about these situations when you're trying to bait somebody in. You got to be stupid enough that they'll go for it, but not so stupid that it's obvious.
Yep.
It's a very fine line to walk, right? And in that situation, no, you said it, Zven's not buying. He's not going to go for that, as we have Blaber up here on the top side. Nocturne's a very effective clearer as well. Observers, if we could deactivate and reactivate the scoreboard to fix the farm bug, Blaber already level 4 here in the jungle, 28 to 20, 2 camps ahead now.
Yes, sir, and could go up and look for those Krugs as well. He's on a ward, so CLG know he's heading topside, but since Fudge has been pummeling this Kennen into Sejuani matchup, harassing Dhokla pretty heavily, they aren't in a position to actually fight him off.
All right, Dhokla's still just chilling. Remember, keep your eyes on the exhaust of Dhokla as this game goes on.
Hit him with the W.
Yep, just wants to slap him there. Arctic Assault backwards as you do it. Just make sure that you're delaying that back.
Arctic Retreat.
Yeah, that one doesn't sound quite as badass as the Arctic Assault, right? You don't get the alliteration, you don't get that forward momentum just in the title alone. But C9, they are looking to have a nice early game. Here was Zven hitting hooks like that. Luger's got to flash away. The man's only got 200 HP. Poome going to be tanking up now as Berserker and Zven are winning trades off of Zven's hook.
Yeah, Zven on point here. You know, nails that early hook, gets the aggressive trades, has restraint when he thinks that Poome is overplaying his hand, that he's playing a little bit too far up. Jungler must be there. Then nails another one. Luger's down, no sums, no exhaust on Poome. They're not going to be able to pull off a dive or anything, but they're going to get a great reset here, and we'll have tempo.
Other thing I will say for the Nocturne, Blaber just wants to full clear, so was very nice for him to be able to finish up this one. Second camps are coming up right now. Nocturne trying to power farm to that level 6. Marginally ahead of the Trundle. One camp because Contractz went to go kind of wait around in the tri-brush and hopefully look for the gank.
So let me pick your brain a little bit here, because Nocturne is one of those champions where the first ulti matters so much. Early on, the cooldown is pretty extreme, the range is pretty short. Where do you want to see Cloud9 invest that first paranoia once Blaber has?
Oh, for sure, bottom lane.
Yeah.
There is no flash on this Zeri. You say, thank you, support. Good job, Zven. You did your job. You burned that flash cooldown before my ult comes up. If they can get that one within the flash timer, that is for sure where you want to go.
And I like Zven. So they had the tempo on the map, right? Earlier reset, they had push. So Zven actually spends this time, goes right back up towards top. They're going to see if they can make a play here onto Dhokla. Remember, he's not playing Flash, so they just have to get that Arctic Salt down. Now he's going in.
There it is, Flash Q. Dhokla's in some trouble, gets stunned up. They got the chain CC and the damage to bring him down. They want to give it over to Fudge. He'll take it. First blood, C9.
Beautiful stuff there. No Flash Sejuani, so the Q is used. Zven flashes in, nails the hook, and is going to be able to get that kill for his top laner with no TP on Dhokla, who's now going to lose waves. CLG, though, are taking something back on the other side.
Yeah, he's going to walk back out from base right now, so I'm curious to see how much it actually does cost CLG. So they get the dragon in payment for the first blood up on the top side. All right, that whole wave there, no cannon
so, yep.
is going to die, but the dragon picked up in payment 853 gold, the advantage for Cloud9 currently, and some of that was pre-existing before the first blood, so it will be interesting to weigh the difference here.
All right, bottom lane, Luger and Poome just want to get this wave pushed up, crashed in. Get a little bit of a farm lead, but that'll evaporate soon.
The main reason I bring it up is because, especially after the buffs to Dragon, buffs that they actually apply to you, 50% increase on though, a first Dragon, Ocean Dragon is so nice for all of the lanes. It actually gives you sustain in a patch where sustain was heavily nerfed. We mentioned the potions were nerfed. A lot of sources of regeneration and sustain were nerfed. So I'm curious to see if that will be a big difference here.
I think it definitely is, especially for top lane, right? It's kind of funny because you got first blood on Kennen, but you're playing into a tank, and Ocean Dragon is 3% missing health every 5 seconds. So if you're ever harassing the Sejuani down, it's very, very difficult to actually keep this guy really low on HP because he's taking second wind, he's got a D-shield.
Oh, they're coming in to turn it into a 2v2. Nice shockwave from Jensen, but the follow from Palafox takes him down. Contractz getting away, he survives. And now Blaber has to walk off unable to save his mid laner.
Too much damage done to Jensen pre-Nocturne ultimate. CLG are rewarded for being proactive. Now Zven, though, rewarded.
Zven again finding these hooks onto Poome, who tries to walk it off. More of those boomerangs bouncing around. First part of the Q hits, second part won't. Poome stays alive, but had to flash and exhaust to get away from that.
Yeah, this Cloud9 bottom lane, they may be down a little bit in CS, but they keep getting aggressive trades that burn cooldowns. And now, since that Nocturne ultimate was actually used mid, I don't get my dream scenario where first Nocturne ultimate, you could use a bottom, you get to cash in, you get their, your gold off of the carry. So I think that mid lane skirmish for CLG
so big.
Was 2 parts extremely big. But Cloud9 in payment for the bottom lane scuffle. Looks like this Riptail smited away, picked up nicely there for Blaber.
Okay, bottom lane, Luger and Poome getting that shoved up again. But yeah, good pickup on the Rift Herald there from Blaber. Do we want to see this one bottom lane as well? Just all bottom lane all the time?
I mean, accelerating a Sivir is very nice. You could go the other route, though, and try and chunk down top lane. I do like Kennen getting rushed into Proto Belt for this champion. It makes such a big difference for your team fight. Try and get some early plate money on him as well would help fund the rest of the team. Playing into the exhaust, though, is so annoying, and if Dhokla holds the cooldown and is able to apply it correctly, preemptively, then could actually nullify a lot of that.
Yeah, I like just giving it to Berserker. I mean, they're already winning that 2v2. You know, even with First Blood, Fudge isn't having the greatest time in that 1v1. There's just so much sustain with the early Ocean Dragon. I don't think he can really get prio in this lane very easily.
And even though they have been burning a lot of cooldowns, like we said, they are at a farm disadvantage down there. So more money has gone to Luger, and Luger's flash is actually back up for CLG. So they've waited that whole cooldown even though it was a very strong play from Zven's, from Berserker to burn a lot of these cooldowns in the CLG bottom lane, they haven't repeated.
Okay, CLG goes in. Palafox's charm doesn't find what it was looking for, but Blaber's ready to follow up now. Flashback out from the CLG mid laner. Contractz tanking up here in the front. Another bite on a Blaber. Remember, Zven doesn't have an ulti. That's one of the big differences here in this fight. I think that's one of the things that would have made CLG go for that. Poome has ult, Zven does not. Now level 6 on the Nautilus.
But that's rough. Back-to-back ultis used for counter ganks there by Blaber in mid lane. They get nothing from it.
Speaking of nothing from it,
Good sidestepping there from Fudge. Dodges the ult and the W. The second swing of the W mace is where all the damage is for Sejuani. So Fudge is winning the skill shot game here versus Big Dokes.
Don't take on Fudge and some Mundo dodgeball or top lane 1v1.
Well, the exhaust
Dhokla
before ulti.
dropping the exhaust early, thinking, okay, he's going to slicing Maelstrom here, but Fudge just plays it patiently, and Dhokla loses a summoner.
Again, the summoner spell war being won by Cloud9 members. Bottom lane as well as top lane here, but they haven't been able to repeat the ganks to cash in on them. It's just been that first blood money.
And after that first blood, they were up good 800, 900 gold. It's dead even now, right? So that has gone away. CLG has a farm advantage in bot. They have a farm advantage in mid. And they have been the ones to get some plates here. They got that plate top and bot.
All right, Dragon number 2, though. Cloud9 have the positioning. Their bottom lane reset first as well. So I think this should be a Cloud9 pretty easy setup. Yeah, especially with the Rift Herald. Funnel into Berserker, and they're going to get a lot of free damage on it. So C9 should be able to grab this dragon. Mounted dragons, though, they are more tanky, 5,000 health.
Yep.
And Poome is kind of fishing around, getting some vision. You see the Trundle coming over the mini-map. Oh, it leashes back in.
Oh, no.
The tankier dragons, yeah, they're not going to be able to finish it. Zeri over the wall, Luger.
Luger's ready to play aggro. Meanwhile, topside's going to have a 1v1. Big Dokes. No exhaust, ready to go, and Fudge flashes out of the way of W2. Dhokla still trying to step away. He's gonna survive. So Dhokla comes out on top and Summoner steals it. Bottom side. Blaber steals the Mountain Drake, and C9's ready to fight. A nice shockwave gonna look to set this one up, but Zven is already down. Contractz pushing forward. Blaber going in, but he won't find a kill. Luger gets Zven. Palafox goes in. He gets the charm. He looks for more. Jensen wants to walk it off, but it's 2 kills to the side of CLG.
That was really good positioning from Berserker, actually. He took a little mini step behind Jensen to spell shield absorb that charm, or that would have been a catch onto the Orianna as well. Here's another look at it though. Luger getting an early chunk onto Zven, pops the Zeri ultimate so that they can start up this dragon, but then Blaber yoinks it. He pops his Nocturne ultimate. He dives in, 76 HP, just a little bit early there from Contractz, but then Zven goes in. Shockwave plus Nautilus ultimate, and he even flashes in for it, but instantly goes down. Then they get the second kill on the Blaber, and here's where you see the good positioning from Berserker. What a homie. Steps up, spell shields, absorbs that charm.
Dude, Luger is just unafraid right down here, right? He is just ready to go into these fights.
I mean, he's got the early shield bow. He's had Poome behind him, so he's feeling really safe. But I am surprised that C9 decided to hard commit to it. Zeri didn't have ulti, but I mean, Palafox, flashing on him for that passive root from Zven, he still had his ulti available, so you are going to get kited out. And the shockwave is not a lot of damage this early on in the game. I don't even know if Jensen had his lost chapter at that point or not, but like, you're stacking tier, you got Merc treads, you are not one-shotting anybody at this point.
Tough stuff, but I mean, honestly, at least Blaber was able to get the Drake. Otherwise, that's kind of a total disaster for the side of C9. So that'll at least be able to keep them having something traded back and forth there. Contractz makes his way up into the top lane here. He and Dhokla may just be looking for Fudge. There's your W2 damage. Fudge gets back underneath the turret. He tries to drop the slicing maelstrom. Dhokla's tanking it up for now. He drops the exhaust. Contractz has to get away from the aggro now too. Arctic Assault. Dhokla will not die to the turret aggro. He sticks around. He grabs the plate with the Demolish proc. Palafox is in the river, so he knows he won't get jumped on as he sticks around. CLG 4-1.
The W2 damage, all I could think after you said that was Fudge didn't pay his taxes or something, and CLG collect it right there, even through the stopwatch, getting the extra kill. But it was also a roam up from Palafox, so you saw on screen there, it was a rotation from Cloud9. They already moved their Sivir mid because of the wave clear here, and Sivir instantly punishes that wave all the way into tower, so it did end up costing an extra minion wave here towards mid. CLG, though, because of the rotation, Luger left alone on the bottom side, and they will get that first tower bonus.
Feels really good, especially when the Rift Herald was dropped against their own turret. by the side of Cloud9. It's CLG claiming that first big objective, and CLG up to an over 1,000 gold lead.
And you think back to the champion select, again, the prio on first pick Sivir, so I don't feel bad at all about the trade on the other side with Zeri, Lulu being up. And CLG go back to it again this time. This game is so much closer, though, because even though 1,000 gold lead for CLG, Cloud9 right now are getting Rift Herald number 2, which is 300 gold upon killing, and then you also should be able to get a turret with it, and turret gold will help make up that difference. Plus, Fudge going to answer a turret right now on bottom lane, and they'll cut this sucker down to size.
Yep, just trying to deny as many minions as he can there before he knocks that turret down. But this is going to be a very execution-heavy based game. You know, Fudge and Blaber, as well as Zven, have got to be on the same page. Everyone has to come in from different angles at the exact same time with the Sivir ulti, with the Nocturne ulti, the flanking Kennen, everything at once there. Or the fights are not going to go well because you need to get that multiple sources of AoE damage down, burst people down, because CLG is playing double exhaust. So if anyone goes in disjointed from the rest of their teammates, they're going to get hit with an exhaust every single time, and they're going to get stopped in their tracks.
And they have to be making the call to do that before CLG makes their own engage that forces a defensive reaction out of C9. Those paranoias that Nocturne only being able to be used as a response so far is causing some trouble. As CLG uses their Herald mid, they will take the tier 1 turret with that, open up the map a little bit more, and head back into the top side rim.
All right, I think we're just looking potentially towards this next dragon here, but CLG doing a good job playing the map, you know, getting kind of further ahead here. They are a much lower damage build here, you know, on the Ahri than what we saw last game. Even Spellbooking over to the exhaust right now, but he is going that more utility style build. Everfrost, Lucidity boots. So it is a huge amount of emphasis on Luger to do the damage, like he really has to. So if Luger does go down, I think the fights can go really, really well for C9, but they have so much protection for him.
Well, CLG also has to be aware of the fact that Contractz can't go for, you know, more of a squishy build than kind of what he already has with Divine Thunder here. You don't have a true tank to ult on the other side, right? Like, you can sap Kennen, you can sap Nautilus, maybe the Nocturne, but you're not dealing with a Sejuani or something that's really going to turn you into a big beefcake meatball. So Contractz will start up the Drake. CLG's got plenty of bodies nearby. Luger and Dhokla both watching out, but it doesn't look like C9's interested in contesting this one. Instead, they're going to put Jensen up on the top lane tier 1 turret. Blaber shadowing him here in the tri-brush as Poome and Palafox.
Yeah, I actually really like these lane allocations specifically from CLG. Poome coming up, hovers on the top side. They counter the play that is available to Cloud9 while they go for the pickup on that dragon. So yeah, not only did they manufacture themselves that second Rift Herald, which they used towards mid, also getting this other neutral objective. CLG have been snowballing these neutral objectives pretty effectively this time around while not exposing themselves to the Nocturne ultimate picks. And Cloud9's comp is so much built on getting these picks.
And even though this game doesn't have the kill value that game number 2 did, I still really like how much this series revolves around who's getting the early game lead, who's pushing those advantages and creating even more off of them, really depending on that snowball, since that's what we wanted to see out of both of these squads, out of both of these teams, that now it's Cloud9 looking to make the move here in bottom lane. Nocturne and Kennen together, especially when they both drop the ultis. That's plenty of damage. Dhokla's down.
Okay, so speaking of those Nocturne picks that are supposed to happen in the side lanes, there you go. Good job, Blaber. They get the pick onto Dhokla. It's answered on the top side, of course, by the tower, though.
Exactly, and I mean, that cost him flash as well on Kennen, so a pretty expensive kill there to actually get. And Palafox getting solo gold on the tower on top side. I think you're happy about this for CLG. They have been able to answer, you know, despite the pressure that's been put on Dhokla a couple times here. Oh, you could look for a chase down here. Just E over the wall. Fudge is going to have to TP.
Yep, the teleport should be able to get away. Yes! Just barely.
That was so close. If you die there, that is brutal.
Yeah, I mean,
calculated.
If the Zeri R was used a split second earlier, he gets him for sure. That was close. I thought he had him.
Well, Fudge at least gets to live to see another day. Saw the Grim Reaper in his rearview mirror, but at least he's still alive for now. The big question, though, like you're talking about, what is the cost of using the flash to kill Dhokla in the bottom lane? What is the cost of this teleport no longer being available? It's up to CLG to determine that cost and see if they can punish this window on the Cloud9 top laner's vulnerability. when we're talking about exhausts, Poome still has his, even though Dhokla is down, so they still have an answer for slicing Maelstrom if Fudge makes his way into the fight.
And the thing for Cloud9 is that their comp really only does one thing, and that is dive.
Yep.
You either pick people up on the side lanes while there are no neutral objectives, or you set up for the objective and you dive in on that Zeri, and if you kill the Zeri, you win. If you don't, you lose.
Yep.
It's a very binary composition here for C9, and the flash is one of those components that heavily influences if they can actually kill the Zeri.
Yep, you can see on my waypings in the blue collar coming out. C9 knows that something very well could be going on here.
Looking fishy now. You see an Ahri going over there.
C9's ready to respond to this. Contractz only has half HP. CLG's bringing in the teleport. Charm onto Zven. He's got to be careful. Flashes over the pillar to stay alive.
Fudge on the flank.
Nocturne ulti's ready to come in.
Baron damage.
wants to join up with this, but remember, he doesn't really have a good way into the fight. Dhokla's on the front line. The tank is tanking. That's all right for CLG as Cloud9 keeps on pushing forward, trying to get something. CLG have very limited resources now. Health bars and mana bars, both pretty hurt. They gotta walk this one off.
Yeah, it is a pretty even trade overall. You know, it is the flash down there for Zven, but you got the TP off Dhokla, you got the ghost off Luger, so not too bad. Everything said, but it's very difficult for Fudge to get in. And you can see CLG, really good comms to all be kiting out the same way, just keeping distance between them and the Kennen, because Kennen had no flash. There's no way for him to really catch up and bridge that gap.
And again, this reoccurring theme of who's winning the vision game has won these games in this series. And CLG, the Observers did a good job toggling the fog of war there. There were 0 Cloud9 wards for any extra vision or any extra flanks that they're trying to pull off. So then it's just Blaber, a Nocturnal, it's just ulting straight up the middle into you. That's not really going to catch anybody, and they're able to pull off.
So one thing I want to talk about a little bit, specifically because we brought it up last game with the Ahri and Vi combination and the full damage Ahri build with Shadow Flame, Sorcerer's Shoes, and Ludens. Very different look here. Palafox having the Everfrost, having the Banshee's Veil. And the reason is, you already said it earlier, the one thing that Cloud9's comp does is they go in and they dive you. This Ahri build, much more defensive, much more utility, provides some peel to get these guys back and help them fight around Luger's Zeri.
Exactly, it's just all about Luger, and there's a lot of squishy members over on C9, so you don't need to optimize for burst and damage as the Ahri in this game. You know, Banshee's Veil also shuts down any opportunities to go for an easy Nautilus ult if you haven't already poked that off, so I do think it is pretty smart here. And CLG's itemization, and also the fact that Palafox has been on Spellbook Exhaust for a really long time.
Yeah.
You know, they are fully ready to exhaust any divers here. It's going to be really, really hard.
They've got 3
everyone,
exhausts.
all at once.
You exhaust Kennen, you exhaust Nocturne, you exhaust Nautilus, and all of a sudden they're all in there with nowhere to go. They make the engage, and CLG is looking for Jensen, but they don't find him. Now Blaber's ready to try to turn it around. He goes in after Luger. They're going to buy a little bit of time here for Palafox, who goes into the zone. He's keeping himself alive, tries to get back away. CLG still here on the front line, grabbing the kill on Zven. Fudge slices them to pieces. A double kill twice. For C9!
It's the Fudge factor, baby! Fudge flies in on the Kennen and roasts CLG! This will be a Cloud9 Baron!
Through 3 damn exhausts! Fudge finds the angle, Fudge finds the timing, and Fudge finds the fight that gives C9 a Baron.
Huge team fight there. The patience on Fudge to wait this out. He does not go in early on this Kennen because he will get slapped with one of those exhausts. Look at the timing here.
Yeah, I want to really highlight something that Zven did on the initial play. You know, once the flash is actually forced out here, when Blaber goes in, they find this pick onto Palafox, and then after the Zonias, watch how Zven stands on the other side of Palafox to know that Palafox is going to be ulting backwards towards his team. He moves over, he ults towards Luger, and Palafox gets caught by that at the same time. For sure, the Ahri has to ult back towards his team. He gets both, and the setup there is there for Fudge, flashing in. Luger is able to survive, but everyone else gets roasted.
Yeah, the exhaust was on Kennen really early and timed out as he's ulting through. So a lot of it full damage there. Yeah, Palafox Ahri ulting right into his face to start it out. And that
There it
one
is.
turned around quickly.
There it is, damage chart topped by Fudge, nearly 4,000. Berserker also over 3K, with nobody on CLG breaking the 2,000 damage mark.
We do have to say, though, CLG just got soul point, right? So unless Cloud9 get a massive advantage from this Baron, CLG's not in a bad spot here. We have to see if Cloud9 can continue to push the pace. Cloud Soul is massive for both sides.
Yeah, I think it is a reverse scenario from last game, but it is a significant amount of gold for Cloud9. They were down 1,000. Now they're up 3K here.
Oh, yeah.
So huge stuff for Cloud9. This Baron power play is after they got all the kills. So all the kills are not even included in this plus 2,000 for them. So massive gold swing for C9. And it's about what can they do with it? Because you need to take out more towers so that you can have more area to dive with. Again, this Cloud9 team, it's all about that dive. And if they take down the last remnants of these outer towers, they can look for more picks with their Nocturne ultimate. Blaber has been quite good in forcing these cooldowns, at least off of Luger.
All right, speaking of the outer towers, the mid one falls. C9 have now completed all 3 in that outer ring. That means they'll be looking for the tier 2s now. CLG still trying to defend, still trying to keep any sort of a ward line they can here in their own jungle, but it's very dangerous. C9 came prepared. They've got control wards, they've got sweepers, and they've got total control over the top side of the map, even on CLG's half of the river. They're waiting on the next minion wave. They'll be able to enchant this one and look for their first tier 2.
Look at that, Blaber. He even kites the minions over to Berserker to further feed right into the mouth of his AD carry.
All right, C9 are still going to keep this one pushing up. They've got the enchanted cannon minion. Dhokla and Fudge off to the side. Fudge not really afraid of Dhokla here in this 1v1 situation. It's not like Dhokla can go for a solo kill on him without backup from a teammate behind his CC. 7 seconds left. Baron's going to expire at plus 3,000 gold for C9.
Also, critical note, double Void Staff now through there for Cloud9 because there is a lot of MR over on the other side. Contractz looking like he may be building towards a Spirit Visage. You can see MR on Dhokla. There's a Banshees on the mid laner. So it is really important when you are playing these double AP solo laners to get towards those Void Staffs at a reasonable time.
Yeah. We did see, though, exactly why in Champ Select, I think it's still this Kennen pick is so valuable for Cloud9. 5 kills for Fudge. He has his Zonias. He already has his Void Staff penetrating like you're talking about. So huge damage possibilities, and the flash is coming up. Plus, we went over the previous state of Vision. Now there actually are wards for Fudge to teleport in on. So
everywhere.
This time around, the Kennen could be coming from the darkness, like you set up in Champ Select as well, with the Nocturne covering it, Kennen coming through with a flank, teleport flash available. That could mean devastation. The timings on these exhausts have to be so quick.
Yep.
And perfect to nullify that damage. Otherwise, they're getting split apart.
And as we now go just a little bit under 2 minutes until that Drake spawns, Isaac, you said something earlier about how Cloud Soul is very good for both teams, and I want to reiterate that. As Dhokla goes in, they look to engage on C9, and Blaber can manage to walk it off. CLG doesn't have the accuracy there out of Dhokla's ulti, so they can't get the pick.
But I mean, they got the flash off Zven for ulti. That's great, right? The Sejuani ulti should be back by the time Dragon spawns. Let me check.
Yep.
It is in fact going to be well up. It's only a 60-second cooldown. So now Zven, no flash available. Yes, Blaber is able to walk it out, but that is a great aggressive look there from CLG. When the side lanes are pushing, if you're not going to be answering those, you have to group and get something else, and they're able to do that.
Yeah, now he's got to rely on this stopwatch. So Zven still can initiate for the team, has ulti, has good positioning, see if he can get a hook, but no flash to get out after the stopwatch, so might end up being a casualty.
Okay, tanky Nocturne here for Blaber. Randuin's second item. That cooldown's nearly ready to go again to use it in the middle of the fight. You can see more health being built as the third item here too. So really indexing towards being that meatball that can fly in for his side.
And they've been cycling their dive here. So Blaber previously went in by himself just to burn the Zeri flash. Then once the Zeri flash is out, he actually exits the fight, and they don't overuse cooldowns. See if they can actually get control leading up to this dragon, though. Cloud9, again, the map is dark. So much effort put in the setup because they know this dragon would be huge for CLG, so they turn out the lights leading up to it. CLG hard split pushing.
Yep.
2 members on top side will get that secondary tower.
CLG not interested in fighting for this Drake in open ground when they're down this much gold. So that means C9 knows they can take it without any sort of a real contest.
And I love the build actually from Blaber. Randuin's gives you a good amount of CDR. Looks like he's going for Anathemas next. And we talked about how it's a one damage team, right? It's a one threat team. It's Luger. So, you strap that Anathemas on him. That is going to be very impactful. It's not only about damage reduction. It's about the increased CC duration because of the reduction in tenacity. So that is something that he's really going to have to watch out for.
And there is no cleanse on Luger. There is no Mikhails on Poome as of yet. So that CC will stick.
Stopwatch is available, however, for the CLG AD carry. So much is on his shoulders here because with a 3,000 gold lead already, CLG knows that Cloud9 is not really afraid of them. They know that C9 is going to be looking for these plays, and for Luger specifically.
Man, Fudge is almost on his death cap now, too. Like, that is terrifying. This is such a high damage build here from Fudge. If he can find another one of those big ultis, once he has death cap complete, that will be really, really strong. Jensen as well, now on 3 items here. You know, these carries for Cloud9 are really getting stacked up.
C9 with a nice lead. 4 minutes until that next Drake spawns, but the Baron is live on the map. You can see a lot of CLG vision in this topside river. Again, going back to this point that we keep hitting on, so much of this series is coming down to vision. It's coming down to who's got the control, who can make the picks, who can make the plays. And C9 has, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 summoner spells ready to go. Across the board, it's CLG with all 10 of them ready to fire. Mid laners, top laners, all level 16 now for those final level of ultis. But the big difference, Berserker level 16, Luger only 14. He's behind compared to his Cloud9 counterpart.
Look, they're pinging on Fudge already. They want to initiate on him.
Oh, they found Fudge before he's able to do anything to shut down the pick for CLG.
The Vet Kennen is off the table and the Nocturne ultimate is down. CLG can go bait on Baron right now. They've got Ahri, they have so much pick potential. Cloud9 just clear out. They know without Fudge, the heart of their team fight, it's so risky. They're gonna poke around. Blaber would have to pull up a miracle here. He does have flash. Smite cooldown coming back up. He's got another charge.
Oh, Poome flashes
They're
in.
going after Jensen. Palafox over the wall gets the charm with this flash, and Luger takes the kill. CLG have now lost their mid laner. Fudge is down for another 20 seconds. CLG is back onto the Baron. Berserker is the only damage threat left on Cloud9 now. Luger's still at half HP.
The charm is
CLG
used.
still
He can
working
go
with
in
the
now.
Baron.
Fudge has teleport.
Teleport and flash whenever he respawns. CLG, how do they want to play it? Sven's walking away
It's up to
now.
Berserker.
They've got the Baron down to 2,000. Blaber's low.
Here
The
comes
game not
Fudge.
yet. The Baron's down to 1,000. It's stolen by Blaber. And Cloud9 just turned it all in its head.
Blaber steals the Baron and Fudge teleports in to steal away CLG's hopes of this game. What a play there. The Baron turned right back around against them.
This could be it. They're actually pushing down mid here. They have the Baron buff. 30 seconds on the carries here of CLG. Do they want to try to posture forward and look for the end?
They've got so much damage ready to go, and only a Trundle stopping them. It's still 10 seconds on Poome, 15 on Luger. C9 sees the opening, and they go for the Nexus turrets. First one drops as Contractz tries to step in and buy any amount of time that he can.
They're getting
Then
low.
dies. Contractz is out. However, Poome is back. Luger's going to be around here in a second. Poome wants another moment, but he can't have it. C9 take game 3.
Cloud9 flipped the game on its head out of nowhere. CLG found those picks, went to Baron, looked like they had it all under control, but they'd use all their resources to get those initial kills. Berserker was not really threatened, and as Blaber goes in, steals the Baron, they bought enough time for Fudge to respawn. He flashes over the wall on the flanking ward there and roasts him. What a crazy ending.
My goodness. Oh my goodness. They had such big picks. They take down the Kennen. They take down the... Oh my goodness. Look at it once again. Baron getting so low the whole time. Blaber, though, unperturbed. He's got flash. He goes into the pit. He's threatening Dhokla's life. Goes up to the Baron. 1,000 HP on it. 982. And he combos it with the auto plus the smite. Didn't even see the 900 health there. Nice combo from him. And you knew you were on a timer because as soon as Fudge gets up, guess what? That Kennen is coming back. He's just as fed as he was when he died. And they win the entire game off this Baron.
Absolutely. And I mean, at the end of the day, they spent so many resources. Like the flash over the wall from Poome seemed brilliant to actually take down Jensen. He goes in, but Palafox has to flash in to do that as well. Yes. He already used up his ulti. So even though that charm actually landed on Berserker there, they didn't have any damage to finish him off, right? Zeri is hitting the Baron, trying to get it low enough for them to finish that. The columns are split, and it all goes awry.
Another close game with an explosive ending, and now we're heading on over to the State Farm Analyst.